My name is F. I'm 26 years old, working as a pharmacist's assistant. To most people, I'm just an ordinary guy, average, easy to overlook, blending into the background. At the store, I dispense medications all day. But in private, I yearn for something different. Not pills or drinks, but something gentler, something truer to who I really am. Lace, makeup, a feeling of authenticity I can't quite put into words. I wasn't always open about this side of me. Or maybe I was, but I pushed it down deep, trying to fit the mold everyone expected. Let me bring you back to how it all unfolded. I live in a modest 2-bedroom apartment right in the middle of the city. The type of building where people nod politely in the halls but never really connect. It works for me, gives me the privacy I need to stay hidden. I've been with Emma for almost 2 years. She's intelligent, self-assured, the sort of person who commands attention wherever she goes. A nurse by trade, attractive in that straightforward, capable way. And me? I'm the reserved one beside her, content to stay in the background. At least, that's how it appears. But there's more. Emma has no idea about her, the version of me that emerges when the lights dim and the apartment grows quiet. The girl with subtle curves, painted lips, and a voice I'm still practicing in front of the glass. The one who stands barefoot, choosing between sheer black stockings and skin-toned ones. She only comes out when Emma pulls a night shift. I never planned to sink this far into it. In the beginning, it started as simple curiosity. One of Emma's forgotten lipsticks on the counter. A quick try. Then came the heels ordered online, size 11, wide black patent leather. Next, a wig. Followed by a bra. And eventually, a name I only ever said silently to myself. Charlotte. Miss Charlotte. It sounds theatrical, I admit. But when I become her, I can finally breathe easy. Still, I convinced myself it was all make-believe. Nothing more. Until that ordinary Thursday at work when things began to unravel. The pharmacy was quiet, the clocks ticking louder than any customer chatter. Emma had phoned earlier, asking me to grab her refill on my way home. Just a normal request for the hormonal treatment she'd been managing. But when I pulled up her record, something strange caught my eye. 2 prescriptions. One for her. The other, under my name. Puzzled, I asked my supervisor. He simply shrugged. Emma brought it by this morning. Said it was for you. You'd know what it meant. A small bottle. No further details. Just a label reading estradiol, estrogen, the female hormone, and a handwritten note from her. Time to stop pretending. My fingers shook as I held it. The walk home passed in a blur. That evening, I stood before the mirror, bottle in one hand, pantyhose in the other, my thoughts crashing like a storm. Does she know? Could she really accept this? Was this approval, or something else? That was 3 days ago. I haven't mentioned it once since. I still wake up next to her, acting like nothing's changed. She kisses me goodbye the same as always. Yet every moment I avoid asking feels both stolen and precious, depending on what the answer might reveal. What if she truly understands? What if the woman I love, the one I've deceived daily, has already seen Charlotte inside me? And what if she's okay with it? What if this prescription is her way of handing me the key to finally being myself? The mirror doesn't deceive. Lately, when I gaze into it, I don't only see Ethan anymore. I see someone longing to exist fully. Someone prescribed more than hormones. She was prescribed a chance at womanhood. But the difficult choice lies ahead. Will I embrace it, or will I return the bottle, shut the closet, and continue the act? The bottle rested on my nightstand, almost staring back at me. For 3 full nights, I'd studied it, wondering if this marked a new start or my downfall. I hadn't swallowed the pill yet, but I took another step. That evening, Emma messaged around 7. Another double shift. She wouldn't be back until late. My pulse quickened at the words. This was my moment. Perhaps my final one before everything shifted forever. I went to the closet. My half looked ordinary, basic shirts, worn jeans, muted tones. But tucked behind the false panel I'd crafted over time, hidden past the heavy coats, waited her realm. Charlotte's realm, the red dress, the padded bra, the wig on its stand, the heels I'd only risked wearing briefly. I ran my fingers over the material gently, like reuniting with a long-lost companion. I'd always adored this dress. Cinched waist, graceful skirt, fabric light as a secret against the body. I removed my clothes slowly, shedding not just layers but my defenses and worries, stepping fully into her, into myself. I zipped the dress up, sealing away the outer world. Next, the bra with silicone forms Emma never suspected I'd purchased. smooth tights, then the heels, black, gleaming, just unsteady enough to echo the risk I was taking. I turned to the mirror, applying foundation, setting powder, a brush with soft pink for my lips, liner, a gentle glow on the lids, and finally the wig. I regarded my reflection completely, whispering her name, Charlotte. The person looking back seemed frightened, thrilled, remorseful, yet truly awake. I wandered the apartment as if exploring unfamiliar ground. Each heel click on the floor echoed in my heart like a rhythm. But tonight wasn't merely about the outfit. It carried a new weight. For the first time, it didn't feel entirely hidden. More like a trial, or perhaps an open door. Had Emma noticed the hints? Was the medication her form of support, or a caution? I couldn't say. Yet as I spun slowly before the glass, I let the feeling wash over me. Pure joy. Intense. Risky joy. Then the door rattled. Eyes stiffened. The deadbolt turning. Keys jingling. No. 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 She wasn't due back for hours. The clock showed 8:42. She was supposed to finish at midnight. But I recognized her keys, followed by her voice. Ethan, power's out at the hospital. They let us leave early. You won't believe. I didn't catch the rest. I bolted, heels clutched in one hand, wig yanked off, breath caught in my throat. I lunged into the bedroom as the front door swung open. Babe, she called. My heart pounded fiercely. The red dress hugged me tightly, as if pleading not to be concealed. I dropped low behind the bed. The quiet stretched thick between us. Footsteps approached down the hall. One more and she'd spot the wig on the couch. I shivered, chest heaving, eyes squeezed shut. Then she halted. A long, heavy silence. Her tone softened. Ethan? I remained low, hardly breathing. The dress clung to my clammy skin. My knees dug into the chilly floor. Every floorboard creak felt explosive. Why hadn't I changed right away? Why chance it all? Why did it make me feel so alive? Ethan? Emma's voice came from the doorway now. Is everything all right? I snatched the closest hoodie, pulling it over the dress. My fingers trembled as I pushed the wig under the bed. My face remained made up, lips vivid, lashes lengthened. No time to fix it. I rose quickly, unsteady. Emma entered just as I faced her. She paused. Her eyes moved over me deliberately. I caught the flash of bewilderment, how her stare fixed on the dress's shape under the hoodie, the trace of eyeliner beneath my eye. For a moment, silence held us both. Then I managed to speak. Hey, I rasped, my voice off, unnatural. Emma tilted her head. You okay? I nodded rapidly. Yeah, just felt chilly. Grabbed a hoodie. Her eyes tightened. Why are you sweating? I hesitated. Was working out. She gave me an odd glance before walking to the nightstand and stopping. The pill bottle. She lifted it, examining it carefully. This isn't mine, she said quietly. I stayed silent. Words failed me. It's prescribed to you, she went on, reading the label. Hormonal therapy. My lips parted, but nothing emerged. Emma didn't raise her voice or freak out. She simply sat on the bed's edge and regarded me. Her words came gently. Is there something you need to tell me, Ethan? My insides felt like they were caving in. I could fabricate an excuse, claim it was an error, a joke, a misunderstanding, but she already understood. Perhaps she had for a while. I began, the words catching. I don't know how to say this. She waited patiently, calm and hard to read. I inhaled deeply. I've felt different for ages. Not constantly, but when I wear those things, when I see myself in the mirror, it feels more like the real me. I kept my gaze down. I never wanted to keep it from you. I was terrified of losing you, of being viewed differently, of seeing myself that way. Another quiet moment passed. I never intended for it to become a secret. It just felt safer to hide. Emma finally responded. Is that who you are, Charlotte? I blinked in surprise. She offered a gentle, bittersweet smile. I found the makeup before. The receipts, the heels, things I definitely hadn't purchased myself. I finally met her gaze. And you didn't say a word? She gave a small shrug. I didn't want to pressure you. I figured you'd open up when the time felt right, but seeing that prescription made me realize you might need me sooner than I expected. My throat tightened. Are you upset? She shook her head gently. I'm not upset. There was a long pause. But I am confused, and yeah, a little hurt that you carried this all by yourself.
Those words hit me hard.
I sat down next to her, making sure the dress stayed hidden beneath the hoodie. I'm still trying to understand it myself, I whispered. It's not about turning into someone completely different. It's that sometimes, being Charlotte feels like finally taking a full breath. She looked straight at me, no turning away, no judgment, just steady eyes.
Then maybe it's time, she said softly.
Time for what?
For you to stop hiding who you are. I stared at her in disbelief.
She stood up, walked over to the closet, and opened it. She reached in and pulled out the red dress, the one I hadn't touched in months.
Show me, she said.
My heart skipped a beat. Right now?
I asked. She nodded.
I want to meet her.
My hands shook, but this time it wasn't pure fear.
It was something warmer, closer to hope. I stood, slipped off the hoodie. The way she looked at me said everything.
She didn't run. She didn't pull back in shock. Instead, she stepped closer and took my hand. Hi, Charlotte, she murmured.
I've been waiting to meet you.
That night, sleep didn't come easily.
I lay there with a bit of makeup still on, the dress neatly folded on the chair nearby. Emma curled up beside me, both of us staring at the ceiling.
She had accepted me.
But that acceptance carried a price: raw honesty, deep vulnerability, and the unknown weight of change.
And change is always terrifying.
The next morning, Emma handed me a small black box. What's this?
I asked. Just open it.
Inside sat a pair of pearl earrings, simple yet elegant.
I stared at them like they might burn me.
You really want me to wear these?
She nodded with a warm smile.
Let's take it one step at a time.
We stayed in that day.
While Emma handled her usual online tasks, I sat at the vanity she'd helped me set up. She'd cleared out my own little space and even labeled the mirror Charlotte's.
It felt like claiming something truly personal, almost holy.
I sat there studying my reflection. Still Ethan underneath, but Charlotte shining through more with every passing hour. I slipped on the earrings, they caught the light softly against my skin. Later, Emma appeared in the doorway, arms folded.
You're different when you're her.
I turned, puzzled.
Different how?
Lighter, she replied.
More alive. I swallowed hard. I feel different too. We didn't need many more words after that, but she stayed close.
She watched me practice walking in heels, helped choose a lipstick color, and recommended the best foundation for my skin tone. It felt dreamlike, like stepping into a life that had always been waiting for me. And now it finally was. That evening at dinner, she called me Charlotte without hesitation. I didn't correct her. I just smiled. The days started to blend together, and with each one, I grew a little bolder. I stepped outside to grab the mail wearing flats and leggings. I tried on a sundress and let the curtains stay wide open. I even took a video call halfway through getting ready, and a friend paused, surprised. Wait, is that you? But as my confidence bloomed, another feeling crept in, a quiet shadow. Emma's smile remained, yet sometimes it didn't quite reach her eyes.
She still helped me get dressed. She still laughed at my silly jokes.
But one evening, I heard her crying softly in the bathroom.
She brushed it off as stress. Said she was proud of me.
Said everything was okay.
Still, something inside me whispered otherwise.
She's proud of Charlotte, but she's grieving Ethan. What if I was becoming someone she loved a little less with every step? What if I lost her, piece by piece, as I finally found myself?
3 weeks had gone by. I was Charlotte more often than not.
Emma stayed supportive, kind, and loving, but I could still see the unspoken questions lingering behind her eyes.
Then, one Friday afternoon, the doorbell rang.
Emma was out, and I was fully in Charlotte mode. Flowy blouse, denim skirt, soft curls, and lipstick.
I froze. No one was supposed to stop by. I peeked through the window.
It was her sister, Lily. Outgoing, opinionated, and quick to judge. Lily, who had no idea and still believed Emma was with Ethan, not Charlotte.
Panic surged.
Should I hide?
Change back.
But it was too late. She'd spotted my silhouette and called out, Emma, is someone there?
I did the only thing possible. I opened the door.
Her eyes swept over me, confused.
Hi. Is Emma around? My voice came out shaky. She'll be back soon. And you are? The silence stretched.
Every instinct told me to lie, but I didn't. I'm Charlotte.
She blinked. A long pause.
Then, in a carefully neutral voice, she said, Oh. We sat awkwardly on the couch, the air thick with tension. So, Charlotte, she said at last, That's new. I nodded, my hands trembling slightly in my lap. I didn't realize Emma was dating girls now.
She's not, I whispered.
I'm still me, just showing a different side. Lily stared for a moment, then let out a short, awkward laugh. This is wild, she admitted.
I know. Does Mom know? No, nobody does.
Another heavy silence.
She pulled out her phone. I nearly reached to stop her.
Please don't. I wasn't going to, she said softly.
She looked me over again.
You're actually kind of pretty.
Like, surprisingly so.
I let out a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. Some of the tension eased from the room. When Emma returned, she looked stunned, like she'd been splashed with ice water.
But Lily just waved casually. Hey, sis.
I met Charlotte.
Emma blinked hard. You did.
She's cool, Lily added with a nervous shrug. A little wild, but who isn't? Emma turned to me, eyes wide. I shrugged, still unsure how to explain. I told her the truth, I said quietly. That night, Emma kissed me with more passion than she had in weeks.
But the warmth didn't linger long.
2 days later, I discovered a note tucked in Emma's drawer, a letter she'd never sent. It read, I love you, but I miss him.
I miss Ethan.
Sometimes when I look at you, it feels like I've lost my boyfriend. I'm trying so hard, but it hurts in ways I can't describe. I sat on the floor clutching that letter, tears streaming down my face. Was my freedom becoming her cage? Was my journey unraveling us? I carefully placed the note back exactly as I'd found it, but my heart felt heavy and loud. The quiet between Emma and me that evening wasn't peaceful. It was distance. She still gave me a goodnight kiss, but it felt routine, lacking that old hunger. The next morning, she found me at the mirror, dressed and made up, lost in thought.
You okay? She asked.
I met her eyes in the reflection. She wore that soft robe I adored, hair still tousled. She looked like home, like the Emma I'd once surprised with flowers and nervous little notes.
I found the letter, I said. Her face crumpled.
I wasn't snooping, I added quickly.
It just fell out.
She sat on the edge of the bed, silent.
I wasn't ready for you to see that. I turned to her. But you wrote it.
I was trying to sort through my feelings, who you are to me now. I thought we were doing okay, I whispered.
We are, sometimes. She looked down. But I can't pretend.
Sometimes I still search for him in you, and all I see is Charlotte. I stood, heels clicking across the floor.
I'm still Ethan too, I said.
Charlotte is part of me, and so is he.
Emma nodded slowly. I know that. But I don't know how to love both sides. I don't know if I can.
Then tell me, I pleaded.
Tell me if you need me to stop. Her eyes welled up.
I don't want to ask you to erase yourself, but I don't know if I can keep pretending I don't miss the person I originally fell for. The room filled with raw emotion, heavy truths, and quiet tears. I feel beautiful as her, I told her. But when I take everything off, I feel empty, like I'm not fully myself, like something's missing. I understand, she replied. I just never pictured this future, and now I'm afraid of where we're headed. I walked over, sat beside her, and took her hand.
I didn't do this to hurt you.
I did it to survive, to finally breathe.
She rested her head on my shoulder. I know, she whispered.
That night we spoke little, but we held each other tighter than usual. In that shared silence, we carved out room for honesty.
Not every love is simple.
Some love bends and stretches, even breaks.
But the strongest kind can mend too. It had been 3 days since that talk.
Emma seemed distant but not unkind. I stayed home, dressed softly in a blouse and leggings with light makeup.
I was slowly learning to hold both parts of myself. The doorbell rang again unexpectedly.
My pulse quickened, just like it did years ago when I'd first tried on a dress in secret as a teen.
I glanced through the blinds. It was her mother.
My breath caught. I looked down at my feminine outfit, undeniably so.
No time to change. No chance to remove the makeup. I opened the door.
Her mother stared for a moment, 1 second, 2, then 10.
And then she smiled. You must be Charlotte, she said kindly. I blinked in shock.
How did you?
She stepped inside. Emma told me everything. My knees nearly gave out. She what? She called me earlier. Said she couldn't hold it all by herself anymore.
She needed someone to talk to, someone who might understand you too.
I stared at her.
She's scared, you know, her mother continued.
But not of you. She's scared of losing you.
I thought she didn't know how to handle this, I whispered.
She doesn't fully, her mother said, but she's trying. She handed me a small envelope. She asked me to give this to you.
With trembling fingers, I opened it.
It was a prescription slip.
Emma had written one simple line. This is me prescribing what you need most, the freedom to be yourself, and the patience for me to catch up.
I sank onto the couch, vision blurring with tears.
I don't know how this story ends, I whispered.
Her mother smiled softly. Neither does she. But she's still writing it with you. Just then, the front door opened.
Emma stepped in, saw her mom, saw me, and smiled through glistening eyes.
The screen fades to black.
But before it does, I turn to you, dear viewer. What do you think happens next? Does love conquer everything? Or does identity prove stronger than romance? Let me know in the comments. Share your version of the ending.
Your thoughts matter here.